HUBCAST proudly presents HUBCAST.
Scratch one, grub.
Hello there, and welcome to the BG4G official podcast. This is episode number 3 for the website www.bg4ghub.com by Gamers for Gamers. This week I've got a great panel for you. I've got Centurion 1307. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I'm excited to be here. How you doing, man?
I'm okay, thanks. Been playing much this week?
Oh God, been playing a little bit of Division. Been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I even fired up my PlayStation 4 to check out Days Gone.
That's all right. Yeah, I've not played Division 2. Well, in a long time. I'm level 6. That tells you how long it's been.
PTK and Fuzzy Belvedere from over at the Shop Podcast have been running me through the Division 2 lately because they love that game, so they kind of got me back into playing it.
That's good then. It's all good. So, all right, next we've got Warstu from the YouTube channel that he makes DC and Marvel related content. How are you doing and what you been up to?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. This is my first podcast, I guess, in over probably a year or two. So thanks for the invite. Not really much. Been playing Final Fantasy mainly on the Switch, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. More of a retro gamer, so to speak.
Well, I've started to play number 7 on the Xbox One. You can tell it's ported because it doesn't actually fit the screen, so you can tell it's made for a PlayStation. I'm only about 20 minutes into the game. It's not too bad. I know it's about 150-hour game, I think, or something like that.
It gets addictive when you get into it.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. We're supposed to have some more joiners, but I think they might join in a bit. I'm not too sure. So we'll move on to the first topic. What's everyone's most anticipated games of 2019? Who wants to kick that off?
I'll go. Sure.
You want Centurion to go first? Yeah.
No,
Yeah, sure.
if Warstu wanted, he spoke up first.
I don't mind.
All right. The top games of 2019. Let's see. So I have a huge idea. I put it on what am I going to play in 2019? Obviously, we're going to have Gears 5. Totally looking forward to that. Then I'm going to have Borderlands 3. And then Star Wars, The Fallen Order. Those would be probably my top 3 right there of the games I'm definitely going to play before the end of the year.
That sounds very good. Did you? Yeah, there's a very good selection of games there. I've got the Hampton collection. I need to actually play Borderlands 2 and the prequel first. I don't, they're quite big games.
Oh yeah,
I believe.
I played Borderlands 2 all the way through. I did kind of putter out on the one after that. I believe it's like the pre-sequel or whatever that comes with the Handsome collection. Because I tried doing them back to back, and I kind of puttered out halfway through the second game.
Yeah, the problem is people's backlogs are so big. A lot of people fully intend to play their games, and this other game comes out and says, "Well, I'll just play that," and you just end up forgetting about them, don't you? Unless it's a multiplayer game, which you keep going back to.
Now, I did forget one title off the top of my head. Is anybody here going to try out The Outer Worlds? Because that's actually one that's also on my radar.
That looks very good. That does. Very good. As it's on Game Pass, I'll definitely check it out.
Oh, Salty's in the chat.
Oh.
Never heard of it.
Shout out to Saltiest Gaming. What's your most anticipated then, Warstu?
Death Stranding.
Oh, nice pick.
I think it looks amazing. The trailer sold it for me. I don't get why everyone's hating on it. I really don't get where this is coming from. Because it's not a game about a baby. The baby's very important to the story from what the developers are saying.
I think it's
It
'cause
looks
it's highly
very. It looks very unique.
I think it's because it's so mysterious, if you know what I mean. People don't actually. I can see where the hate's coming from because it actually looks like. Sorry to say it, it looks like a movie trailer, but it's in a game. That's what it's made to look like. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do.
Or
I do
not?
agree with that, but we haven't really seen enough of it to kind of judge it. To me, it looks like it looks a bit like Horizon Zero Dawn to me, and that's like such a great game on PlayStation.
I don't know. I've not played that. Have you
And
got
then
any other games you're looking forward to?
Yeah, The Witcher 3 is being ported to the Switch, but I've never played The Witcher. But I was going to buy it on PS4, but apparently it's coming out in December on the Switch. And then Ultimate Alliance 3, but I've never played the other Ultimate Alliances, but there's been like a 10-year, there's been a very big gap from Ultimate Alliance 2. But Ultimate Alliance 3 does look pretty cool. So really, they're the only games this year. Obviously, there's big games next year that
Yeah,
that I'm more
we
looking
will
forward
get to that. We will get to that Ultimate Alliance. We will. No, it's a good bunch of games there. I mean, The Witcher, I'd imagine would have to be downgraded quite a bit to go on the Switch, wouldn't it? The graphical
From what
difference,
the
surely.
developers are saying, the controls is the hardest issue. I think it says the controls and the UI is the hardest difficulties they're having. But it's funny because The Witcher Netflix TV shows coming at the end of the year as well, so I think they're trying to tie it in with that, the release date maybe.
Are you covering that on your channel or not? Is it not? Does it fit into what you're doing or on your
I
channel?
do anything I want now, but yeah, I will be covering it if I can get like a screener for it. I should do, because sometimes I get to watch a lot of the Netflix stuff early because I'm like a Netflix media account where I can get access to things a bit early. So yeah, I should be covering it if I can get to it early. Usually I can get stuff early.
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
What's
Busy
going
to
on,
save
guys?
today.
What you guys got going on here?
We're just talking
The first
about
ever
what our most
Stubcast.
anticipated. Yeah, the Stubcast.
Stubcast.
You even made me an intro.
Yeah, I must have missed it. I just trying to get some work done, man. I'm way behind with videos and everything. It's like impossible to get caught up.
Oh, fair enough. We're just going through what people's most anticipated games are for this year.
I wanted to ask Warstu if he knew how long The Witcher 3 really is.
I've got no idea about the game really.
Oh, dude, oh my God, man, that game right there is gonna be like a second job for you. That is a very long, extensive game. Some of the side quests can take you on an adventure that'll last you like a day or two.
Really? No,
Oh,
that'd be good then. I don't like short games.
Oh no, that game is not short by any means.
Short games like Spider-Man PS4. It like the main story annoyed me. I know there's lots of side because it was too short, but the side missions made the game quite long. I prefer really long games. Like God of War was quite long. I think I prefer a lot like really long games because then you're getting value for money. Because I don't really do online games at the moment until the Marvel Avengers games come out.
I really hope they give you guys the complete edition on that game on Switch, because there's people that say the side quests on that game are almost better than the actual main story, and then the DLCs that came out for that game were just as extensive as the main game, if not better.
Well, I think that they haven't really said that much, but I'm pretty sure it is coming. It is coming out. I'm pretty sure it's definitely coming to the Switch.
Oh yeah, because I think what it is the Nintendo Switch is selling like hotcakes as such, and all the big game devs are wanting to get their games onto the Switch, basically.
Yeah, I heard the Switch actually passed the PS4 over there in Japan or over in that part of the world. It actually passed the PS4 in sales.
Well, I believe that
because
I got one for Christmas, and it was really hard to get hold of one for Christmas, like this year, like the last year just gone, and it was really hard to get hold of one. So I believe it would destroy anything, even with the hefty price tag on it. it is selling with the new Pokemon game and everything. It's going to sell crazy at the end of the year.
It was so.
And I think
the
they're really
biggest selling game of this year.
they're supposed to be re-releasing a different one that's slightly cheaper and slightly smaller with a bigger memory, like they normally do with stuff. But I don't think it can be cheap though, because Nintendo don't really bring out cheap products, because most of the games are like 50, 60 quid for Switch anyway, which is quite a lot for a handheld console, I think.
Yeah, I was waiting to hear about the new Switch model. I was all excited, and I didn't hear anything. The Switch processor is the same one that, like, nearly the same processor that goes in the Nvidia Shield TV. So I think,
I
like,
didn't know that.
yeah, it's quite dated. So I was hoping for a new one, but the games that they put out, like Zelda, and like the size of the game and how Switch works is incredible. Like Zelda Breath of the Wild, the game was huge, and
That game's hard. Really hard.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
almost gave up
game's-
on it, but I ended up playing it all the way through, and I don't regret it. It's a really fun game for what it is. I love it.
I've got that game and I've got literally nowhere on it, but I've got about 10 Switch games. I've got too many games. But yeah, that game is seriously tough.
Yeah, it's hard because the weapons break and everything, but once you like really get past that, like it became almost like a little side hobby, finding all those shrines and actually playing the game was pretty fun for me, but it took me over a year to finally decide to play it through. Because I thought it was rather difficult, but it was a fun game. I hate when your weapons break all the time. It's a little aggravating, but I did think it was a fun game.
Yeah, it's pretty good so far. I've got, like I said, I've got too many Switch games. I've got no end, and then I keep downloading the Final Fantasies. So I've got too many games at the moment to play on the Switch.
Yeah, does anyone else have a Switch here?
No,
I got one. I got to play Breath of the Wild. I bought the Switch for me and my wife to play games because we're huge Mario Kart fans, Mario Party. We just bought the Yoshi Yarn game, or I forget the exact name of it, but it's the new Yoshi game. Yeah, we like sitting down and playing a good platformer.
Do you guys use the little paddle, the Switch controllers, or do you have like a regular controller?
Oh, I've got a Pro. Sorry to interrupt. I got the Pro Switch controller, which is a normal controller because I game on Xbox. I need a full size controller.
Definitely.
But we obviously you can put the two Switch controllers together in the adapter they give you, so that way it can actually almost form a full size controller.
Yeah, I like using it like that as well, or in handheld mode. But I haven't done much 2-player. But when I did, I only had that one little Switch controller, so you have to like break it in half, and you're playing with this little thing, and it's like,
oh god, yeah,
it's a little bit annoying. But the $60 for the Pro controller, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty expensive. I mean, it's normal for a controller, but they do have a wired controller that you can buy for like $20, but I just haven't really got around to getting that.
Yeah. So, what's your most anticipated game then?
My most anticipated game, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I really like the way Cyberpunk looks, but I mean, I would really have to see a little bit more for gameplay and everything. Definitely, I'm excited to play the new Halo game. All these new Microsoft games, I'm excited for. Gears of War. It looks like
nice pick there.
Yeah, it looks like they've really made some changes to the gameplay. Giving the characters different abilities to use and different ways to play the game, different game modes. So I think it's going to be rather interesting. I do play Gears of War 4, but that was really my first entry into the series. So, and I haven't really put the time into really becoming great at it or anything, but it's a pretty good game, and it looks amazing on the Xbox One X. You can do 60 frames per second, 1080p, or you can do full 4K 30. And you really can't lose either way, but it's an amazing game.
We're all gonna have to get together and play Escape together.
Definitely. I've got my Ethernet cable now, Centurion, so
I've
just got to
wired
get the drill out.
Oh,
I've
you
just got to get the drill out. And then
Yeah,
Plug it
once
all up, and then
once you
and I'll
hook
be
that up, your
sorted.
ping rate will become so stable on your console.
Definitely. So I just
Yeah,
want to move on
it's
to
always
the next topic, if that's all right, just to
Oh, yeah.
keep it flowing. Yeah. This is multiple questions, but it all links to one. So what are your thoughts on Nintendo's Ultimate Alliance free game, also the Avengers game, and does it look like Xbox are basically not interested in having its own exclusive superhero game? Who wants to answer first?
I'll go.
yeah,
Why not?
go for it.
That's actually a really good question. Whether or not they're interested, I couldn't say. I know to buy some of these licenses to do these games, it can get really expensive. It's kind of like, if we'll just use this as an example, like Spider-Man on the PlayStation. That was something that they already had established when they got a hold of the rights for Sony Motion Pictures to actually do the Spider-Man movies. So that's where, I haven't really seen them get too many licenses outside of the Spider-Man one. So you can only imagine how much it costs to actually get the permission to make one of these games. So to say that Microsoft isn't interested, I don't know. Now, whether they're willing to flip the bill, that's a different story, because, they obviously have all these studios creating IPs, but I am definitely looking forward to wanting to try out the Avengers game for my Switch. But gosh, I will be truthful. I haven't had too much experience in the Ultimate Alliance games. I've seen people play them. I've thought about trying them out every now and then, but my backlog is so massive that I just don't ever download them.
No, I mean I've not really played any to be honest, any superhero games. It's just that they're still quite a popular game genre. A lot of people play them.
Well, I got Spider-Man for the PS4 here, but I will be truthful, I'm a fraud. I haven't played it yet.
It's a fun game.
It's
a
so
fun game.
good. It's just too short.
Yeah,
Story's so good though. It's just too short.
$60 for a single player game is a tough bargain. I rented it as well as a few other ones that I bought for PS4, but like $60 for a single player game, I'm always surprised that those sell so well, especially on Sony's platform. I really like multiplayer games. It's just you really have to have the time to jump in and talk to friends, so I find myself struggling with that. So I end up playing Batman Arkham Origins. I like those kind of superhero games.
I played all three of those back to back to back.
Yeah, those games are amazing. I really like like a single player superhero game. I don't have much time to play. Like, is that like a fighting game almost? Ultimate Alliance?
It's a fighting game from what I've seen, but it's also it's like almost like an MMO, if I'm correct.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. I'll have to check that one out.
Well, Stu, do you want to pipe in here because you know quite a bit about this?
Not so much about it's story driven, but then it is kind of a fighting game. But I'd have to agree with that comment. It is kind of MMO, kind of. But then I don't know. I don't like to define things because I could define that game as a role playing game, really, in a way. But no, I'd have to agree with that. But it's hard. I think it's hard to define these games. I have the same problem with the new like Avengers game. I don't know, is it like it's hard to define what game it is. But I haven't actually played the other Alliances game, so I'm not really a fraud. But I'm looking forward to this one. So I haven't really had any experience playing Ultimate Alliance yet. I'm just basing this off the E3 stuff, so I haven't actually played it myself yet because I believe Ultimate Alliance 2 came out years ago, if I'm correct. I'm not sure if I am though.
Yeah, probably. If this is the third one, did it just release or is it not out yet?
I'll just look now. It came out. Well, no, it's coming out next month, but I'm pretty sure Ultimate Alliance 2 came out years ago. Let's have a look. Yeah, it came out. Home Alliance 2 came out in 2009. So yeah, 10 years ago. So it's been a long time.
I've just seen in the chat. You said it was a short game. The Spider-Man.
Yep.
How short did you mean? Because in the chat,
It depends how good at games you are.
There's at least 40 hours worth of gameplay there.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But the main story could be done in like 20 hours if you wanted to do it. But I mean, without the side missions and everything, just the main story. And then obviously they did the extra missions like the DLC stuff. But the main story originally was fairly short for how long people waited for the game.
So, do you all think Xbox should have an exclusive DC or Marvel comic book game?
There's one question you didn't ask that I hope you do ask.
What's that?
Is Marvel Avengers in the same universe as Spider-Man PS4? Because the game developers will not answer that question to anyone.
Oh, I'll tell you why they won't answer that. Because Spider-Man Sony only IP to that. Spider-Man. Technically, it can't be.
They said PlayStation's getting some exclusive stuff.
That's wrong.
Now, is this to do? Is this no? They actually said at E3. Is this to do with the Spider-Man PS4 stuff? Because they will not answer. Is Spider-Man PS4 in the same universe? But it can't be because it's on PC, Xbox, and the Google system. I can't remember the name of it.
I can see what happened. I can see what's happening there. If that does happen, all the PlayStation games will be getting Spider-Man and all sorts, and everyone else won't get Spider-Man. That's not fair. That's not.
But the way they're setting up is they've basically unofficially said that every Marvel character eventually will be in that game. So you'd probably just get a different version of Spider-Man, maybe. I don't know. But I just want to know if it's set in the same universe, because there's something that's said in Spider-Man 4, like the Avengers went west, and then obviously in the trailer for Avengers game, the Avengers are on the West Coast. So there's like Easter eggs that correspond to the trailers for Marvel Avengers. So it's got to be set in the same universe. But they won't officially say anything about it, which is annoying.
Yeah, well, Sony spends that money, so they get to keep Spider-Man on their platform, which is overall bad for gamers, I think. Unless you're a hardcore gamer like some of us who might purchase more than one console. But to be honest, I until the PS4 Pro came out, I wasn't even thinking about buying a Sony PlayStation 4. And then once they released the mid-gen, I was like, okay, now I can play these games that I've been locked off from, Uncharted. Spider-Man's such a big name. I'm so surprised that they would want to keep that, because really they could make a lot of money. I mean, I can imagine they would get some console sales, but wouldn't they be better off being able to, put it on every platform? I would think. I think they might be losing money, but maybe they make it up from selling consoles. I don't know.
They hit a home run with that Spider-Man console. That thing right there, the Spider-Man PS4 Pro, that thing sold like hotcakes. And I've seen some YouTubers that have that thing sitting in the box in their collection. It's never been taken out.
Yeah, I can imagine. It was a good-looking console, and like I said, I had purchased it like right when the Pro came out. And right when the Pro came out, I went into Best Buy like 2 days after, and there was stacks of them. It was almost like people waited to jump on it until like that Spider-Man game came out. Like when Xbox came out, I went to the midnight release and I got my Scorpio edition. And there was only about 20, 25 people there, but still, for a midnight release in a small town, it wasn't bad,
I originally bought my PlayStation 4 to play the Uncharted series. I never had the intent to upgrade to the Pro. And then because Battlefront 2 fell on its face, they had all those Star Wars Battlefront 2 bundles, and they were discounting the heck out of them. And when I saw one for $300, I was like, all right, I'm trading in my my original PS4 to get this Pro upgrade, because to find a deal like that is very unusual on a console, and it was all because of the game that was inside of the box.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they know what they're doing, you know, just like people love these especially when they do a nice looking console. I don't like when they just put like an icon on it. Like I like when they have like the whole different color console and everything. It looks awesome, you know. So I can
Oh yeah.
yeah, I can
People-
understand why people like those.
People said the Star Wars one was actually stickers on top of it. It was actually put on there pretty well. It doesn't come off as a sticker. I think it's etched in there, and it has the Rebel logo on top of it with the Imperial logo and then the First Order logo on top. It even says Star Wars across the front. I was actually really happy because I'm a total Star Wars nut.
Yeah, I would like that one too. And Star Wars games are amazing. You know, we're just waiting for the right one. This single player one, I am pretty excited for, but I don't know how well it's going to sell, especially if it's purely single player only, you know.
I think it's going to sell well. Everybody's been beating the drum for a Star Wars single player experience. They're tired. You know, if we really think about it, all the Star Wars games that have been pretty much released this generation are either a Lego game or a multiplayer game. And we saw in Battlefront 2 how people wanted more of a single player experience because they complained about how short the experience was in Battlefront 2. So I'm really looking forward to what Respawn is cooking up because I actually played Titanfall 2, and Titanfall 2 is regarded as a really, really decent single player experience.
Yes, that's quite a good game, Titanfall 2, but I prefer Titanfall 1, if I'm honest. The servers are still up for that.
I prefer Ghost Recon. No, Lost Planet. In fact, Lost Planet. Lost Planet was pretty cool back in the day.
Right.
No, I remember Lost Planet.
That was a good little conversation. That was. Let's go on. Is it all right if we go on to the next topic? Everyone,
I'm
all right
down.
Yeah. Right. This is to do with Gears 5, the best news I've ever heard. Because the reason I haven't made a video on Gears 5 is there's that much news that keeps dropping, it's unreal. It's basically about the no season pass, no Gears packs, DLC maps are free for matchmaking and private play.
That's amazing.
Exclusive earnable content in the all-new Tour of Duty system. All store purchases are direct, and there's no RNG, so basically you know what you're getting every time. Now that is exactly what I want. Gears 3, you could earn everything in the game by playing it. Say, 1,000 headshots, you get this skin. You do this, you got actual goals to earn it. All right, they did sell you skins, yeah, but you knew what you were getting. It weren't like a loot box in Gears 4 where you buy it. Oh, you might get this Marcus Phoenix character. You might get nothing. You might get something rubbish. But in this, and also it did say anything you buy or anything you earn in game, if you get a duplicate, you can scrap it and get another item. So that is it. What are people's thoughts on that?
Did anybody here play Battlefront 1? Sorry to bring up another Star Wars game, but
yeah, I bought that one day one.
So if anybody remembered, it was obviously an all multiplayer game, but I do like the concept Stubz is talking about them actually doing this, because in Battlefront 1, you would see people with a gun that you really wanted, and it wasn't behind a paywall. It was behind, I got to do, X amount of kills, or I got to do this. Like, I remember that was the addictive thing about Battlefront 1 was you had all the guns and other stuff that you can get, the characters that you could unlock by playing the game. And then there was the Jabba the Hutt bounty hunter missions where you could unlock even more stuff. And it was based on getting X amount of grenade kills or gassing this many people or getting this many headshots. It's almost, I don't like the idea of stuff like that being a randomized loot box. It should be almost like a trophy, like, oh, I want that skin. Oh, how'd you get it? It was so hard. It must have been so hard to get that many kills with a headshot. It's almost like a recognition of what you did rather than, I just kind of, threw some money at it, or I played enough for loot boxes and I got it in a random drop. It gives you more of a recognition, because when you see that gun or that skin on the other side of the battlefield, you're just like, oh, great. This dude freaking plays the game hardcore. This should be interesting.
Exactly. I should have really grinded like obviously you just said Battlefront 1 there, didn't you?
Yeah, Battlefront 1, yeah.
Then they went wrong on Battlefront 2.
Yeah, like
They reckon
Battlefront.
that what something like 600 hours to earn a Darth Vader of in-game
Yeah, when
time or something.
yeah, it was like, well, actually, it wasn't 600 hours. It was like when the game first came out, it was actually like around 60 hours to unlock one character, which is, which is crazy.
It's like a working week with
oh,
overtime.
God, yeah. So, yeah, they definitely lowered a lot of that down. You could kind of see how loot box, if you take a look at Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, you can see how loot boxes alone changed the structure and the dynamic of that game. So I'm seeing now this shift in the industry that obviously EA is probably going to be one of the only companies left beating that drum of, hey, we got to be able to put loot boxes in games. It looks like a lot of companies are starting to get away from the idea of loot boxes just because it's so controversial.
Yeah,
Right.
and
sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, forget loot boxes. Getting all that DLC that they have planned for the game is amazing as well. And I've seen a bunch of games do that. I mean, didn't Battlefront 2 do that? And I think it gets more people purchasing the game. I really hate DLC. I don't buy it. I don't think I've ever bought one except for Destiny. And the Zelda game I had wanted to, but I think the development should go into the game that the people pay for. And if you have stuff to add on to it after the fact, that should be free. And if you have enough content, then you can make a sequel to another game and charge money for that. I'm just tired of the endless money pit that these games have all become. And then you've got loot boxes too. It's ridiculous.
I'm kind of on the fence on that because I'll just kind of put it out there for everybody to know. I'm a huge ESO fan. I play ESO on the regular with some very good friends of mine. I'm on the grind to like max level. I'm like almost 600 in my level. And I will be truthful. I do buy the DLC. I've bought every drop that they've had elsewhere, Somerset, Morrowind. I do really believe games as a service has a place. Because it is nice to have a game that you can come and go from over the year, and there's always something new. There's always somewhere else to explore, and it's an ever evolving game. But some DLCs are complete. Should be free. Like I hate to use Destiny as an example, but there's been some DLCs in Destiny that are good, but the major handful of them should have been free, or according to at least my friends that play the game very heavily, this is stuff that they've just repackaged from Destiny 1.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where they don't have to finish games, and EA has done this multiple times. I mean, you were talking about Battlefront 1. That game didn't even come with the campaign at all, and Titanfall 1 either. And then the next one, they finally figured out that people actually want both. And, if it's a small studio, I'm forgiving of it. And if they need the money to make the game, that's fine. But when you've got a big publisher and they're just trying to make more money out of it, like Destiny 2, when they finally dropped the $40 DLC, they wanted you to have the other two $20 DLCs to even be able to buy the $40 one. And so that's insane,
Your DLC should not divide the player base, and I'm pretty sure Stubz can agree on that. We'll even use Gears as an example, like the map packs. Yeah. A lot of the maps on Gears 5, not Gears 5, Gears 4, you actually had to purchase. I actually lucked out and I went out like a fan and got the Ultimate Edition when it came out. But when your DLC divides the player base, that's when it starts becoming a negative, because gaming is already an expensive hobby, and it should not be it should not be geared towards the super rich. They need to understand that not everybody in this world has an infinite amount of disposable income, and to basically create a paywall that divides your player base could be very detrimental to your game.
You're right. I mean, this is why I think the map builder in Gears 5 will be amazing, because I'm not saying this will happen, but they've now announced that Map Builder will be available for versus mode and horde mode. Now, I hope what will happen is people can build maps and the community can vote on said maps, yeah? And I hope that they would drop people's community-made map into a rotation map playlist so everyone can play it. So if you think about it in reality, you're technically doing some of the work for the coalition. I know they're going to bring out their own maps, but it means a constant supply of maps. If you think about it from that way,
They're keeping it original.
do you see what I mean? It's quite a good idea.
And point
I mean,
out,
they're obviously going to put limitations on it as well, because people put silly things in. But I think it's a good idea.
I've been sitting back and thinking a lot about the lack of reveal at E3 for Gears 5. And the more I think about it, the more time goes by. They're drip feeding this information to us. And I'm actually kind of liking the direction. Please, I'm not damage controlling if anybody here thinks I am or anybody listening. But to really think about it, at the end of E3, we all walked away going, I want more information on Gears. And they have been slowly drip feeding us information here and there. And they're going to continue doing this until September, until the point where everybody wants to know what Gears 5 is going to be. So I really do think that this is a very well thought out marketing process that is going to get a lot of people hyped for the game and interested in what's going on with the game. So I'm definitely very excited. And every time they release a piece of information, I'm always wanting to read about it to see what exactly they're going to release next.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because when I didn't see any more campaign, I was a bit disappointed. Then after, they keep dropping more info, week by week and month by month. They keep dropping more and more and more. Just hopefully it's enough so the game's successful, you know.
Well,
it pays off.
Yeah, and not only that, but I've listened to we talked about it on Saltiest podcast, and then Randall Thor with oh my gosh, I forget his co-host's name. I'm having a brain. No, I was not on there. Oh God, I wish. But I listen to a lot of I work a lot in a warehouse. I got a speaker hooked onto me. I listen to so many podcasts constantly. And I forget the guy's name, but he does editorials for Windows Central. And while he was at E3, Jez Gordon, that's right.
Jez.
Yeah. So at E3 and talking to people, I think fans of gaming don't understand the world of gaming when it comes to just how nitpicky the media and the super fans can be. So a lot of game developers now are not wanting to show very much gameplay, purely because let's look at it at Gears 5 perspective. If they showed us anything for the campaign that day, it's going to be nitpicked, dissected, put under a microscope all the way until the release date, to where basically by the time the game comes out, they're going to find anything and everything to be wrong. They're going to be out there counting blades of grass. They're going to be looking for pixels that don't look right on the walls. They're just going to find anything they can and nitpick at it and basically insinuate that they're ruining the Gears 5 franchise. And so I can understand why they held back a little bit. And a lot of developers are actually kind of wanting to follow this mantra because they don't want to see their game get completely ravaged by the time it comes out.
100%. And this is exactly what happened to the Avengers game. They showed a little bit of footage and everyone hates all the designs because they don't look like the MCU movie characters, not supposed to. Then they showed a tiny bit of footage to press at E3. It got leaked and everyone is blowing it out of proportion. And they've said it's only the alpha stages of rendering the graphics. It's not even what we're going to be getting. And they literally see nothing of the game. And everyone's shitting on it before it's even here. We've not even seen anything of the game yet. There'll be it's a cancer culture like on YouTube. It's like with video games. They try to troll at everything. So developers will be forced to not reveal much information until they have to, which is really bad. And that's the way I can see every industry going to some degree.
That's why I really like what Phil Spencer has done. I mean, a lot of people were unhappy with E3, but I believe, it was better than not showing up at all, number one. And number two, you can still get someone excited with a cinematic trailer or, whatever they call that, pre-rendered footage. And I think if the game's not ready, why show it and do like what happened with Crackdown, where, it was way overhyped and stuff. And even looking back to Spider-Man's release, the whole Puddlegate thing, you're completely right, Legion of Gamer. It's just ridiculous, what people do to these games. And developers put years into these games, and they're constantly changing, constantly updating. So why show something if it's not indicative of what the final game's going to be? And, get people excited. People are more excited for this Gears of War than any Gears of War that I've seen before. And the developers have put a lot of work into it. So I think it's a good way to, kind of drip release the content. And I think everything worked out pretty well. While gameplay is good to show, it's good to show before the game's release, a little while, not too soon.
I'm glad you brought up Crackdown 3. It's a perfect example of what goes on in everybody's life. Stuff happens. You drive down the road, you get a flat tire, you come home, you find out your fridge broke. Stuff happens. To bring up Crackdown 3, a lot of people had expectations based on a concept thing that wasn't even supposed to get out. It was somebody with a cell phone that took footage of how the cloud gaming system was supposed to work. But when I say stuff happens is Xbox had something happen to them that they didn't see coming. The company that they hired to create that got bought out. They sold them. Basically, they sold themselves. They took all that cloud tech that they were building for that game with them. And the interesting part is Microsoft was in a position to take them to court and actually sue them for what they did. But Phil Spencer, being a very passive, interesting businessman, he's not out to basically run somebody into the ground. So he's definitely a one-of-a-kind businessman, decided to not take this company to court and let them just do whatever they wanted, and they left the scene. The new company that picked up this cloud tech literally had to get this game running in a short amount of time with a new cloud technology. And yeah, that's why it was missing certain things when it came out. Party chat, it didn't have local co-op and stuff like that. Everything, well, actually, no, it was more local than it was able to be. Like, you were paying when you played the Cloud Destruction Zone, you were playing with people that were near you. When you actually encountered somebody that was like, say, if you're on the East Coast and you were playing with somebody on the West Coast, there was actually a huge ping rate issue at first because they hadn't figured out the math yet on how to really make that system work at those kinds of a distance. So that's just a classic example of Microsoft. Basically, somebody fumbled the ball and they at least picked it up and did not want to just be like, well, game's over. They actually stuck with it and worked with the situation that was given to them, just like average people do every single day when something happens.
Exactly. It's like Epic Games bought that cloud tech, and as far as I know, have done nothing with it since. Because the only money they put games into is Fortnite currently.
Yeah, that's right. I think it was Epic that bought them out.
Yeah,
and don't get me started on that.
Yeah, but that's who bought that. That's actually who bought the company out. So Crackdown was made in, they reckon, like 18 months. So,
and if we see
also,
Phil Spencer's
like
actually kind of putting games, still working with Epic. He didn't just kind of be like, "Oh, you guys screwed us over. I don't want to deal with you."
Well, yeah, you got to think in business terms. It's like they always say about these tech demos. Now, does anyone remember the Killzone tech demo on the PS3?
Killzone was an amazing game. It was just too hard for people.
Yeah, but the tech demo was amazing. Did it ever deliver off the tech demo? There you go then. PlayStation.
I like that game. It was just hard, straight hard.
PlayStation weren't held accountable, but Xbox were for not delivering what the tech demo looked like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but that's like the Apple Samsung thing, isn't it? Like that's just like the Apple Samsung argument that people have.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the main problem was announcing it too early, and I think Phil Spencer learned from his mistakes with that. But really, that the cloud gaming thing was really, they were ahead of their time, and they weren't you know, they weren't able to come through with what they had initially stated. And, you know, unfortunately, people will probably remember that forever, and they'll always hold Phil Spencer accountable. So he's learned from his mistakes. And, you know, I think they've got so many games coming. No one's going to be able to complain about not having games anymore. And, you know, I think that's awesome for every gamer, you know?
Exactly. You got a good point there. Well, it's been a very, very good podcast. It has. Hope everyone's enjoyed it. It's my first time actually hosting a podcast. Went a bit wrong with guests, but we got there in the end, didn't we? We did. Thanks for stepping in.
Oh, no worries. Anytime, guys. You know, I'm just usually I do my work on the weekends, so I can always take a break and shoot the crap. You know.
Right, I'll do the outros. I will put everyone's links in the description. I'll have to edit it after because I had planned different guests, but things didn't work out. So, Legion of Gamer, do you want to give out your info?
Sure, why not? Obviously, my channel's name is Legion of Gamer, but I am Centurion 1307. I run a blog called legionofgamer.com. But I also work with you guys on BG4GHub.com. It's really fun being able to work with everybody. I get to meet new people every single week. It's really awesome. But you can also find me on Twitter at Centurion1307. And just recently, I got taken under the wing of PTK Blam on the Shop Podcast and got made a regular on that show. It's really awesome. I get to hang out with him, Fuzzy Belvedere, and Stagger the Unrilla. Really great group of guys. They keep it real. Definitely tune in.
That's really good. I mean, I was listening. It's very, very good show, that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's different.
You're
like you said,
you're the rising star,
about
mate.
Stuff. Oh.
You are. You're a rising star YouTube and the podcast world. You're everywhere.
I know. Diversification.
Exactly. Pizzles. How do I say your name properly?
Pizzles.
I'm saying it wrong, innit?
Bad name choice. Everybody at
Pizzles.
work calls me that. My last name is Padalano, and people just used to call me Pizzles. And that's been my Xbox gamer tag since 360. So I threw it in my YouTube channel name, and people always tell me to change it, and no one knows how to. People say pizza, but I feel like I'm so far, I'm so far there. I might as well just leave it,
Definitely original. No, you're probably one of the only people out there using that tag. So
yeah, definitely. I use it in the tags. It works out okay. I've seen people with worse names do very, very well on YouTube. So in the end, it all depends on the work you put in. And I've been a little bit slacking on my work. So trying to get on my grind and do tech videos weekly on YouTube. I upload in 4K, try to do 60 FPS, have some good B-roll, stuff like that. Trying to do gaming videos and articles for BG4G and, help companies out if they want me to do a trailer for their product and stuff. So I'm getting work and growing slowly, but it's growth and I'm happy with it. And I appreciate you guys having me on as always. So you can check out Pizzles Tech Time if you want to watch the tech videos or whatever.
Thanks for coming on, and it's always a pleasure. Right, Warstu, I've got a question to ask you first for any budding YouTubers, because I know your height at the minute at 73,000 subs.
Hardly the height.
Have you got? Well, it's still quite a lot. Have you got any tips for YouTubers out there that can help people to grow and get bigger?
I can tell you one thing that will instantly get everyone 10,000 subscribers in a month. Just be consistent. No, I'm joking. It won't really. Yeah, just got to be consistent, and you got to grow your brand. It's a really hard one, because to grow on YouTube, it's not about being the best YouTuber, because the best YouTubers aren't the best YouTubers. They just got there at the right time. So you just have to be consistent. And as bad as it sounds, you've got to get yourself in the algorithm. As bad as it is, there's so many bad videos that go viral every single day. So you've just got to be consistent with your titles, your thumbnails, your upload time, uploading at least 3 videos a day, using the same keywords, so you get stuck in the algorithm. And if you keep grinding, because it took me over a year to get 1,000 subscribers, and now I've been doing YouTube for a full-time job, living a pretty good life for over a year, just literally talking about Marvel movies. So, and I literally took a year to get over 1,000 subscribers, and now I get, I don't know, like 1,000 a week on average week, but it took me over a year to hit 1,000. So you've just got to be consistent and change your content up. The secret is you just got to grind, and sometimes it won't work for someone, but I used to get 10, 20 views a video, and now, like on a bad video, I get like between 2,000 to 5,000, but I know what it's like to get 10 views on a video. I was there, but now it's like, it's different. But if you're consistent and you're thriving to update your craft, you will make it. It might take you 3 years, but you will get to a place where you can monetize it without, I guess, how can I word it, without having to do bullshit, basically. But I don't know. Yeah, that's basically my thoughts. But it's hard to tell someone, because I could tell someone exactly what to do and then they might not grow. But it's better to learn, but just be consistent at whatever you're doing, and you will grow eventually. It just takes a long time. Trust me.
Yeah, it definitely takes a long time. 3 videos a day that's a grind, man. So if you do that, that's commendable in any aspect. I mean, I struggle with 1 video a week. It all depends on the type of video you make, but definitely getting the content out there and striking the algorithm, tagging everything, thumbnails. But congrats on almost 100,000, man. I think the next Marvel movie or Marvel game that comes out, you'll see that probably.
Well, the next Marvel movie is Spider-Man Far From Home. It comes out the 2nd July. I'm going to watch it on Thursday at a press screening. But yeah, hopefully soon. But yeah, you can upload 1 video a week, but if you're consistent with that, then
I try to shoot for 2 or 3 a week.
You just got to be consistent. Don't set yourself to upload 7 times a week if you can't do it. Like, I'd say 2 to 3 minimum. Like, if you really want to push like growth, like, it's to do with how the algorithm works, and you need to stay in the algorithm, as sad as it is. So I'd say minimum of 3, 2 to 3 quality videos could give you the growth you need. It just takes 1 video. Like, 1 video blew my channel up over a year ago, and I've literally been riding kind of off that following from that month I had over a year ago. But it was just 1 video that was no different to the very first video I uploaded, which wasn't with a mobile phone. But the difference is now it's with like a Rode mic, and my equipment is a lot better, but everything I do is no different. It's just I've got better at, I don't know, talking to a microphone.
I
don't know.
I won't mention names out of respect for them, but there's one YouTuber out there that I know of that's been a great source of help and information for me. He started off using Upload Studio till he was about, I believe he said 2,000-3,000 subscribers in. So if we look at what you can't really use Upload Studio today at this point, because this was 4 or 5 years ago when he was doing it. But to start off on a platform that substandard and get your growth up that high just shows as long as you stick with it, you can succeed.
Well, when my channel first started, I was editing my videos on my phone on an iMovie, and I was getting up to 10,000 views a video. When I think Flash season 3, I don't know if anyone watches the Flash, but I was getting some pretty big hits for someone uploading phone like videos off my phone, just recording audio, overlaying some pictures in iMovie, and I got over 1,000 subscribers, pretty much doing most of my videos off my phone. So you don't even need fancy like equipment. You just got to be consistent. And there's a lot of YouTubers who say they want it, but they're not consistent. Like 2 to 3 times, it is hard. I was working a full-time job and uploading every single day until I went full-time. So it can be done, as well as going to the gym and doing loads of other stuff. So it can be done. It's just like how bad you want it. But you just got to grind and see. If you get some growth, the growth will go up and up and up and up. And yeah, YouTube game's hard, but anyone can do it to a certain level. You just got to get to that level and stay there. And that's the hard thing.
Yeah, you really got to want to put in the work and and do everything, and starting in tech, and then I have other channels that I do for fun, like cat products is another thing I do videos on. Very small channel, but the tech stuff is hard because I've got to learn about the product. I've got to shoot A-roll, B-roll, lighting. I had to figure out how to do that, audio and everything. So it's depending on the type of video I would make, sometimes it takes me 10 hours. So even if I worked full time, maybe one video a day if I wanted to slave away. But I think maybe I could bring back the quality a little bit and just focus on good content and getting a message out there, because you get so focused on you know, the effects and how the video looks, and you're not really getting an effective message out, you know. So you really want to, like you said, tag your videos properly and really be consistent with your message and not be wishy-washy on the topics you cover and stuff.
Because I'll be honest, I literally freestyle most of my videos. Like freestyle them. I make them within 2 hours every video.
Yeah, I've had some popular videos that were just filmed on a cell phone or just filmed with no lighting. I did a video on Verizon Fios at my old house, recording on just a regular camcorder. I barely edited it, and that one got like over, like 2 years ago, it was like almost 20,000 views, and that was like, all right, maybe I can replicate that. But it's been quite a struggle because the tech you know, genre is pretty saturated. So it's almost like, you know, you got to find what you're interested in. Like, you're interested in Marvel movies. You know, I would love to talk about shows and movies that I watch. I do a lot of the time. So I think if you're passionate about what you're doing, it just comes naturally, like you said.
Yeah, my field is very saturated. It's saturated so much. But if you get one viral video, not viral, if you get one video that does really well, you just have to replicate the tags, replicate the title, and replicate the video. But obviously, you make it a different video, and that really should spiral like crazy growth. And that's literally what I did. I had a video that hit over 1 million views, and I replicated that video every single day. Just it was a different topic, but the tags were all similar and everything. And then somehow I got in the algorithm, and that's pretty much how most people do it. And eventually, it doesn't even have to be a viral video, like a video that gets a few thousand views. You just replicate that and analyze everything from that video in YouTube analytics. People don't use the YouTube analytics enough. You can literally learn YouTube from your analytics. Where are they coming from? When shall I upload? There's so many factors to uploading the video. It's not just making the video. It's like when, because I obviously live in Europe, so I've got to upload it when the American people are awake. So I've got to schedule it around the Americans because I get 70% of traffic from there. So there's so much data like that helps you grow. It is insane when you kind of get to a level where you have to look into them kind of things. But there's loads of things you can think about.
Can I ask you a question, Warstu?
Yes.
No, sorry. Do you notice? Is it affect a video dropping it on the weekends?
No.
I've heard some people make claims that if you put a video on the weekends, you're going to have a viewer count go down because people are out and about on the weekends and they're not on the internet as much.
Sorry, I think that's in gaming. I think a lot of people just gaming.
No, I strongly disagree with that, because if you upload a video Monday to Friday, most people work Monday to Friday. So if people are off work, you're more likely to get bigger hits. I would say you get bigger hits on a weekend, to be honest, on my kind of channel. But no, it really makes the only time it makes a difference if you upload the video at a time that is a lot later or earlier than you normally upload, kind of thing. But then it depends on the subject, because say Marvel drops a new trailer and you do a trailer breakdown and you upload the video 4 hours earlier than you normally would. It makes no difference because everyone's awake to watch said trailer. But no, on my kind of channel, there's the weekend is fine. There's no difference uploading on Saturday and Sunday to my channel.
I also have a question pertaining to like copyright and everything. Say you wanted to react to a trailer.
Yep.
Like every time I try to react to something, you end up getting like a copyright strike. Do you have to actually get permission?
Be specific. Is it a copyright claim or is it a copyright strike?
Usually a claim. Like they'll just take the ad revenue.
I take it your channel's monetized then?
Yeah.
So basically, there's the fair use policy. and you can counterclaim it, and you'll win the claim 99.99 times recurring times. You'll win the case, because as long as it's for educational, it's criticizing, it's reviewing, it's teaching, then you counterclaim it with the fair use policy, and they release the video every time. So that it only happens to me for a few times, but that really can hinder views. So if it does happen to me, like within the first hour of the video, I will remove the video and just take the trailer out and just re-edit the video. But generally I have no issues with copyright claims, because most of the studios don't mind, unless you're using, say, 7 minutes of footage and the video's 8 minutes. But most of the time, I know in gaming it's a lot harder with using footage, but for using Marvel trailers, I don't really, or DC or Warner Bros, or I don't really have issues with copyright claims. And if I do, I just counterclaim it and they release all the money back to you. But you still get the money before they make the claim. It's after they make the claim. It's a bit kind of misleading the way they word it, but yeah, you just have to counterclaim it with you just have to recite the fair use policy and tell them. But that doesn't mean they have to release it. They can be, they don't always release it. Sometimes they don't, and if they don't, I just get rid of the video generally if it's got good views, because I don't want them to make money when I'm not, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a quite difficult system to get by. That's why, because I actually was reviewing a Comcast, and I just searched Game of Thrones with my voice, and I started playing the beginning of the episode with like no audio. It was just playing on the background, and they claimed the video. So I was like, man, how could I ever do a reaction when this isn't even, I'm not even showing the footage. It's just on my TV in the background, and I'm the subject of the video. So it was really weird. But in order to claim it, I would have had to get 1,000 views within the first 48 hours or something. So for a smaller channel, it might be a little more difficult, depending on the video, But once you get over 1,000 views, you can refute the claim. So definitely.
Oh, I didn't know you needed 1,000 views to. Is that still the case now? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
if that's the case now.
It definitely was.
So you didn't have the audio of Game of Thrones playing?
No,
or you didn't have no audio at all?
They can still do you for visual. You can still do you for the visual content. They can do you for whatever they feel like.
I hear it's harder for them to search for visual content than it is audio content, because the algorithm works a lot. Their copyright algorithm, from what I've heard, works a lot better for audio, which is why when it comes to, like, when I use game trailers or anything that I put on my channel on that nature, I don't ever use original audio. I always have my own background music, or like my just recent video, I recorded Forza Horizon 4, and I didn't even put the gameplay audio in it because the music they put in the background of Forza Horizon is copyrighted. And so I didn't want any of the music on that game on my channel because I didn't want to get clipped for it.
Yeah, for music, you've got no chance. UMG come after everyone. But I'll let you into a trade. It's not really a trade secret. So essentially, if you don't get a copyright claim instantly, it means someone has physically, manually flagged your video. If you don't get a flag within the first 5 minutes of a video being up, someone has manually clicked on your video and flagged it. Like all these big companies have people to flag content that they think they can claim, and it's a big problem on YouTube. But there's nothing you can do about it, really.
Yeah, and the algorithm.
Because if you upload a video and you get a claim instantly, then it's the algorithm. But if it's 5 minutes or whatever after the video's up, someone's come along and flagged your video, which is annoying.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy to deal with, especially when you rely on monetization on YouTube. But the algorithm has gotten so good at finding stuff. Like, you don't even need the audio anymore. It's just trademarked images and everything. Like, even trying to find images through Google to use for your videos, and every image says it may be subject to copyright. So, they could pretty much claim you for sound effects, images, anything. And it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Well, I use so many. I've never been taken down for an image, but I have had a copyright strike for a thumbnail before. So, yeah. But that was, yeah. So it is what it is. But I've never had it. I've never had any copyright claims for an image inside a video. It was just a thumbnail that was from a movie that technically wasn't out yet, but it was publicly out there. It was publicly on Google, so I thought it was okay to use it, but I got a strike for it, but it's pretty much gone now. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hear a lot of content creators get kind of flagged or whatever you want to call it when they're starting to release information that hasn't exactly been released to the public yet.
Yep.
One guy that I was thinking of, he was releasing information for State of Decay 2 Heartland, the DLC that was shown at E3. And he actually got an email from the devs, Undead Labs, basically telling him to cease and desist.
You've got to be careful when you talk about leaked. You can talk about leaked content, but you've got to manually talk about it with your voice. Like if you ever get a leaked trailer or a leaked image, it's very bad to put it on YouTube. You can talk about it and they can't do anything to you. But the second you put a clip on that's leaked or an image that's leaked, then they can jump on you. And there's nothing. Well, you're in the wrong really, because you're not covered by fair use unless it's publicly released.
Well, the one image I used ever in one of my videos that was leaked was an internal document at GameStop, and it was when PlayStation was revoking everybody's ability to put digital codes out in their name. They only want you to either buy the codes directly from them on their code cards or to buy the games off of the PSN network. But yeah, that was the only time I ever really leaked an image out. That was an internal document for GameStop, I believe it is.
If you do that, I suggest you blur the image so like they can't pick it up, kind of thing, because you are breaking fair use. If you put a leak, if it's not publicly released, then you are breaking the fair use.
Well, this was months ago.
Yeah, so but if you do it again, I would blur the image so you can't make out exactly what it is. That's a tactic that a lot of YouTubers use. They blur things out so you can't see exactly what it is sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen them do that with music too. They'll bring it into Adobe Audition or Premiere Pro and they'll cut little portions of the music out or they'll distort it a little bit. And I see people get away with using like very popular songs. And it's not something that I would want on my channel because I feel like I'd constantly be worried about all my revenue going somewhere else, like you said. But I see people get away with it all the time. And I'm just like, I'd rather put my own content out there, like you said, instead of showing the actual song or, just trying to cover all your bases. Why not?
Well, we'll use Salty as an example. He got copyright banned for 90 days, but it didn't last 90 days. But it was because he streamed the Ubisoft conference at E3. They actually put him on a 90-day ban, but luckily he won his dispute.
They stung a lot of people for streaming E3.
That's
YouTube,
ridiculous.
And I think Twitch also stung some people. There was that big Twitch streamer. What's his name? That big Twitch streamer who filmed him. He got filmed going in the toilet.
Disrespect.
Yeah, that was controversial. But technically, he didn't tell the guy to come film him in there. So I think there's a gray area. But
it was because he uploaded. If you read their terms of service says you will not put live images of anything that is supposed to be in what they consider a private space, especially like bathrooms. And like I actually saw some of the clips from that in the actual articles. In one of the photos of Dr. Disrespect being filmed, the person was blurred. There was people at the urinals being blurred out by the company who put the photos out. Dr. Disrespect never blurred anybody out before he put it on Twitter. I mean, Twitch, wherever he looked.
Did he get his Twitch back? Because I know
because one of the people that got filmed was actually a little boy.
He
actually had, so that
That's
there.
Not good.
No, that's what really got him in trouble is that there was actually a little boy using a urinal at E3 in the footage. So now that dips down into a very serious category of violation of privacy. I don't even want to say the words. And so, that's that's what really got him in trouble was that there was actually a minor in one of the clips.
Because I don't really keep up to date, but I watch Drama Alert. I know a lot of people don't like him, but yeah, he does keep you up to date with all these kind of stories, or else I would never have heard of that case of someone getting banned off Twitch during E3. But it is pretty mental what happened.
Yeah, it wasn't because it was because technically he violated California state law when it comes to personal privacy by taking a live camera into a bathroom.
Yeah, California has really strict privacy laws. Like, you can't record someone on the phone in California without their consent. And a lot of people don't realize that it's a serious crime, you know, before doing it. So it can be pretty tricky. But I'm sure he'll get his channel back. I mean, he's such a big streamer. I don't think they could really, you know, take him down forever. I would
Oh yeah,
say.
he's turning it into a joke. I've seen some of his stuff that he's putting out now, where he's like putting stuff on Twitter where he's taking photos of himself in a bathroom stall. Now he's the only person in that stall, and he's kind of trying to turn it into a joke right now. But you know, at the same time, it's like, you know, dude, you walked into a crowded bathroom with a live camera, so it is what it is.
That's crazy. I mean, how stupid can you be to do something like that?
But wasn't it technically it's this cameraman that he paid to film when he didn't actually tell him to follow him, but the cameraman walked in?
It was the fact that he uploaded it was the fact he uploaded the footage. You know,
I thought it was a live stream that was happening, so it was happening live.
I would be truthful. I really don't know on that one.
I'm pretty sure it was a live stream that on Twitch. That's why he got taken off.
Well, he made jokes saying that he was going to fire the cameraman. He said he was going to fire the guy or whatever. But the name that he gave out, according to some of the articles I read, was actually kind of like some kind of fake character that he always yells out in his streams. Like the person doesn't really exist.
Because I don't follow it. I mean, I'm just trying to look from Twitter. It looks like I can't find his. Has he lost his Twitter as well? I can't find him.
Doctor.
On Twitter.
He doesn't spell it Doctor. It's D. I think it's DR.
Oh right, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, speaking about that, I love Drama Alert. I mean, look at Keemstar. He came from being the most hated person on YouTube to having one of the most successful concurrent shows on YouTube. So it just shows that.
It shows his content is questionable though at times.
Is it under his real name now? Because I know YouTube actually banned him officially, didn't they? 3 years ago. Is it under his name or is it under a company's name?
I think a network still owns it technically. Yeah. No, I think he bought it back. I don't know. It's a dodgy one. Yeah, you're right. They did ban him on YouTube, but he made a big comeback.
Yeah. So has anyone got any more questions? Because I'm going to end the podcast.
I know we took this whole podcast another direction.
Well, it's a good thing because
wait. I've got an exclusive. Wait. No, I was just looking at Dr. Disrespect Twitch. It was loading and looking like it was going to go to a page, but then it said this page doesn't exist. So no, that's it.
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't. I mean, it's the first time I've hosted a podcast. I don't mind people, you know, when I bring up a topic, changing the direction and stuff like that. It makes it different rather than the same old thing. You know, just trying to make it a bit different. I just hope people enjoy it. I hope it's helped people in speaking to Warstu and help in getting their channels, you know, more subs and better quality, etc.
Well, if you, I mean, I can't grow your channels for you guys, but if you ever want any help or advice, just send me a message on Instagram or Twitter or something, and I'll try and help you if you need help. But like I say, it's impossible for me to do anything for you. But if you need any YouTube advice or anything or whatever, just shoot me a message and I'll respond.
Okay, I can all say, you all know Warstu now.
Yeah, nice to meet you, sir. Appreciate it. You could be very helpful to people. So no matter which direction it went, I think it was helpful. So that's awesome.
Anytime anybody can kind of get input on the algorithms and the ins and outs of YouTube, that's always educational for everybody because everybody wants to grow on YouTube. Everybody wants to be part of the community, but it's also a very chaotic community with a lot of ever-changing rules. So to always get some input on how to function in this world is great.
Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about YouTube. So basically, at the moment, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but it's not. Didn't say anything. I'm on a YouTube program at the moment. YouTube phoned me, said I was doing well, so I spoke to a YouTube rep who actually was calling me from Singapore, and there's a lot of myths. I asked this YouTube guy, So essentially, I was told if one YouTube video does bad, your next YouTube video would do bad because the views were bad on the last video. And he's like, no. He's like, don't listen to any myths. He's like, everything you've heard about YouTube generally is wrong most of the time. And it makes sense. Just because one video does bad, the next video you think does bad, but each video is independent to itself, regardless to how bad a video does. But it's just things like that. I asked this YouTuber up quite a few questions, and it's interesting what he said, because a lot of my conceptions about YouTube were wrong.
Okay. Well, so, Elite Gaming Guru is asking, he's part of BG4G Warstu, do dislikes matter, and do likes matter towards videos?
In terms
I think
of what?
He means
in terms of driving more traffic.
If someone smashes the dislike button down, will nobody see it? Or is it all based on views? You know, like how
it's based on views, dislikes, and comments. Well, no, it depends what you mean. Say a video gets 500 dislikes instantly, it will kind of affect the video, but you'll still get views because of the dislikes. So it's better to have more likes, but the dislikes also help you in a way. Kind of. It's a hard one to explain.
It's all interaction. So YouTube sees likes and dislikes as any type of interaction.
It's
because
a click.
Yeah,
it's classed as like engage. It's basically engagement, whether it's negative or positive. It will still affect.
At the end of every year, they always have their montages of the most disliked videos of the year.
Well, he says, will it affect your revenue, likes and dislikes? I wouldn't have thought so.
No, because the revenue's based on your CPM, based on how many adverts you get per 1,000 views, and then how many adverts you have in the video. If you go over 10 minutes, you see a lot of people smashing a lot of adverts in 10-minute plus videos, because if you put, say, 8 adverts in a 25-minute video, that's 8 times the revenue per every kind of user in effect. So no, it won't affect your but then again, if you get loads of dislikes, it could affect your revenue because the views could be lower, but it depends. There's a lot of variables, and I don't think it would affect your revenue, to be honest. But I can't really give a concrete answer based on what I know. I don't get that many dislikes, to be honest. So I don't know. I did have a lot of. I had a troll that used to hit my videos with well over 50 dislikes. This was like when I had no followers. When I had about something like 500, and it did really affect the views, but the engagement was quite high. I've got a lot of haters and a lot of trolls massively, and my channel's still growing. So to answer that, it wouldn't really affect you because I get trolled all the time in the comment section on my own video, but I'm still growing, kind of. So yeah, I guess it all helps, really. I guess that was a really bad answer.
There will always be trolls on the internet, no matter where you're posting your videos.
We just blocked one in.
I was going to say, there's one in the chat right now. Daz just clipped him.
I know it was aimed at Warstu because his height. It was someone in the chat said something, and it's been blocked.
I could talk all day about the trolls on my channel.
Get them out of here.
Yeah, it was dealt with very quickly.
No, I can't post anything without someone saying something, but that means you're kind of getting somewhere if people want to come at you.
You didn't say your name, but you come out of nowhere and just said it, you know.
Like, for instance, I post that I get to watch Spider-Man early on my community tab a few days ago, and someone says this: "You deserve it with all the great clickbait you keep producing." And then someone else says, "Now, why does the kid who constantly clickbaits, so you can't trust if the title is even real or fake or confirmed, get a ticket where the better YouTubers who deserve to go to screeners don't get invited?" I mean, whatever they want to say. It's part of the game. Whatever they want to say, you've got to be edgy with titles. I get trolled all the time.
But you do always talk about what is in your title, and you sometimes do say it is a theory, but then you also get we've got more, really. Oh.
You can literally put theory right in a title, and someone will go clickbait. Even if you put theory, people are like clickbait. Yeah, I've sent the trolls in now.
Yeah, they've arrived.
It's your content, so you can talk about whatever you want, and people have the right to feel however they're going to feel about it, you know? But it's like, you know, you need a thick skin to be able to deal with those YouTube comments.
threats and stuff, etc. I've had loads of really bad stuff, but like I don't really care.
Yeah, I just ignore it. It's whatever.
I did a video for ESO, and I took some of the trailer footage from ESO, from the ESO trailers for the game. I had somebody thumbs down my video and put a comment on there insinuating that I put Bethesda's name in the beginning and that it wasn't really a Bethesda game. It was ZeniMax and all this other stuff. And I actually had to comment back and be like, you do realize Bethesda was the publisher for that game, and all the footage I used was directly from Bethesda. So I didn't doctor that footage or put anybody's names in there. That was already there.
Yeah, there's always going to be people that think they know everything, especially gaming and, comic books and stuff. Someone always knows more than you, and they're constantly trying to get the edge up on you over the silliest things. Even in the tech community, it's bad. Like, I try to just be, level-headed, normal. I don't tell anybody that, I'm not, anyone special. I'm just a normal person, but people are still like, dude, you're an idiot. You don't know this, or you didn't do this, or you didn't say this.
I get that all the time.
Yeah,
all the time, daily.
Detail.
Every time I will talk about the partnership between Xbox and not Xbox, Azure and Sony, I have people come out of the woodwork that start hounding me saying it's an exploratory partnership. And it's just like, okay, I'm sorry for not being that technical. Hey, do me a favor. While you're criticizing me, can you write a couple letters to the gaming media and tell them they need to throw the word exploratory in there? I sent this individual 5 different links to 5 different articles from big gaming media websites that all called it a partnership without the word exploratory.
So you could call anything exploratory, right? Like any game development is exploratory because it may not come out. Look at what was it, a dragon game that got canceled, and we saw so much footage from it. They take a chance with everything they do, so you don't put everything as exploratory. Like Xbox Lockhart, it could still come out later on in the generation. We don't know. So everything is rumors, and it's like you can't be held accountable for what people cancel and what they do.
It just got quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah,
is that it now? Are you all done?
We're all done. Yeah.
Stubz, have you got a question for me?
No. I ask you questions all the time.
Okay. So all these guys know who you are to me, I guess.
Well, I don't want to say it on the podcast, to be honest, because your trolls are in.
He doesn't want to get attacked by your trolls.
He's already.
So, right. Thanks for coming on, everyone. I'll put all the information in the description after the show because I've got to change it because the guest lineup changed. So, thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, everyone.
No worries.
No worries. Appreciate being on, guys. Nice to meet you, Warstu. Good to see you again, Legion. And thanks for having me on, guys, once again.
I got a whole freezer full of popsicles.
Bring it, bitches!
I find it funny that there's only one person with a video cam on and no one else has one on.
Yeah, I just always have mine on. It's no big deal for me. It's like my webcam was expensive, my camera was expensive, so I don't want to waste money,
I have 2 computers, one with a camera, and I'm not even on the one with a camera. I'm camera shy, I'll say it.
Well, I see a lot of gaming content. People don't use the video. Most of the time it's gameplay and graphics and everything. And I think it's because it's such a toxic community and there's such a divide between PC, console, Sony, and Xbox. And I think Xbox, they're doing a good job trying to get everyone together as well, like Microsoft and Nintendo working together, Microsoft and Sony working together, and Microsoft makes games for PC too. So I think this generation, a lot of that toxicity should die down. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'd say people are scared to show their face with how quickly toxic the environment can be.
Yeah,
exactly
pretty
right
much.
there.
But I'm
For
gonna have to
sure.
shoot. I'm gonna have to go now because I've got loads of other stuff to do. It's
Well,
run a
thanks
bit
for
like,
coming on anyway.
no,
Yeah,
I
good
mean I can
meeting
come on whenever. I can come on again if you want at some point.
Okay, right. Thanks everyone. I'll end the stream now.
Nice to chat to you lot. Interesting conversation we had.
It was.
All systems go.
All right, lads, we'll end it there. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, cheers guys.
Thanks.
All right, peace.
Later.